Okay, so it's been a while since I've made a video on this channel. But essentially, a lot has happened. My mother tried to go back to starving me again, and I ran away with a stranger I met on Reddit for a month. And when I came back home, they started treating me better, my entire family. I have a room now in the house. I probably mentioned that. But, even when I came back, my mom tried to do what she was doing again, to me recently. There we go. I feel a bit better now. I don't think anybody will be able to hear me, but still. No, when I came back, everything got better for me, but Mom did try to go back to what she was doing before, just recently. But this time my dad stood up for me, and we've been growing closer, and he said that witnessing the way that Mom was with my little brother Ruben I think it dissolved away the fog that he had relative to Mom, because he's a good person, and even though I hate him from time to time and have been incredibly distrustful of him for many, many years, he is, because he's been standing up for me, and it has actually led to change. So I probably won't be put in the situation that I was put in before again. Hopefully not, anyways. That's helping. Said something. And because of the fact that things at home have gotten better, and because I'm still on HAP, I decided to go while I was planning to get on disability, because I just figured more money and the fact that I'm disabled, so. But I went to see a woman called Phyllis, who worked in the Pater Tobin's office. And her entire job is that she helps people get things done. You need a court case settled, you go to Phyllis. You need to go on disability, you go to Phyllis. You want to, I don't know if she helps with jobs, but I'd imagine, because it seems like she handles pretty much fucking everything. So I went to her and I talked to her, and I explained my entire situation, and she reassured me that my parents cannot legally do a conservatorship over me, which I really hope she's right about. But I don't trust people easily, but yet I feel like I trust Phyllis a lot. She's been helping me out with HAP, and I'm still not on it yet, but she's harassing the council for me, so hopefully that will come through soon. But because everything has been getting better at home, she's actually pushed me to apply for a PLC, which is something I've heard about before, but I wasn't entirely sure what their entry requirements were going to be. I planned on going to college as a mature student, and I've been thinking now about going back to an adult education center to get my leaving done, or level 4, because I didn't get a full level 4 qualification from Youth Reach. I just felt incredibly out of control while I was at Youth Reach, and I essentially left school because of bullying to go into a situation where people were treating me exactly the same. It was a tiny bit better, and I did get better in a lot of ways, but it just wasn't a very good time for me. And since leaving, my mental health has helped and grown and recovered, but now I'm worried off my ass because I didn't get the full level 4 qualification, and I'm terrified that I'm just going to end up living here for the rest of my life. However, I did actually apply for a PLC, and I did get an offer to do an interview with the Dunblane College Phyllis says I won't need a level 4 to do a level 5, and I've contacted a lot of places, and one in particular basically told me that I'm of an age now where they'll likely accept me into a course to do a level 5 without a level 4. Once you're 21 or over the age of 21, you're basically a mature student, and you can do at the very least PLC courses, without any requirements. However, I do know of an adult education center in town that I can go to, so I've been looking to just talk to them there in case the interview doesn't go well. However, yet again, everybody's telling me that I have absolutely nothing to be worried of, and as far as I'm aware, and this was something that a PLC director, I don't really know what word would be for it, but I guess director is the only thing I can think of. Someone who runs PLC courses told me that the minute that they give you the interview, they've pretty much accepted you. And the only thing that you can do to not fuck it up, the only thing that you can do to fuck it up is walk in with a dead chicken around your neck. That the only thing that they want to hear from me is that I want to do the course. And that it's more of a formality than anything else. Just to make sure that just to make sure that you're not going to cause trouble while you're there, or that you're actually going to do the course, because a lot of people don't take PLC courses seriously, which lowers the bar enough so that I feel like I have a chance. Yay! So yeah, if I get the level 5 done, then I can go to college before I'm 23, or 22 or 23. And I got the interview clothes. I'm going to take my piercing out for it, and I'm really looking forward to the interview. A lot of good things have been happening, and even though Mom trying to go back to literally starving me for some fucking reason, God knows with that woman. Jesus Christ. God knows. Even though that has really brought my depression back heavily, especially yesterday, my life right now is actually going really well. And Dad made her apologize to me. She went out and bought me a mug. I would collect mugs. So look, isn't that just the loveliest mug? I love this one. And all of my mugs actually represent a part of my dissociative system. This would be based off of the alter family that I would have created, I guess around about 8. I'm not entirely sure. I've never been quite sure about what ages I was when things happened to me in my childhood. But I had a love of Alice in Wonderland, and I had a love of The Girl Who Fell Beneath Wonderland. It's a book. It's a really good book. Now, I had an obsession with that kind of whimsy, goth, Lolita aesthetic, and I still do to some degree, So, some alters of mine, a lot of my mindscape have been formed by that aesthetic. I think it was a way to help me dissociate, this particular mug reminds me a lot of Lilith. And some littles too. For the littles, I have Hello Kitty mugs that I got cheaply in a laundromat. 4 of them, they're really cute. The mug is actually kind of okay. Doesn't represent any of my alters in any way, but it's nice. And I love to say that I was wrong about my mom. But I've been through this enough times to know that the only reason that she's apologizing to me is because Dad made her. While I was gone, she did actually attempt to reach out, which was a weird fucking thing for me. I can tell when she has a little bit of genuineness in her. I don't never know what to do with it when it's there, because it's still very self-centered. You can tell that I don't even know what to call it exactly, because it's not vulnerability. She's not capable of vulnerability, not true vulnerability anyways. A lot of people who are as abusive as my mom is, the closest you'll ever get to actually ever seeing their vulnerability is when they deploy it, deliberately. So it's like they're using the opportunity that they have while they and the thing is that I think they're genuinely reliving things in that moment. Like, people like my mother have likely been victims in the past. So whether they actually believe that they're victims or not, they'll be reliving something in their head, reliving a situation where they're being perpetuate where there's a perpetrator, and they'll use that as past hurt that is triggering them now and making you believe that you're the perpetrator. And the creepiest thing is that in some cases, like these people, they genuinely believe in that moment that they're the victim when they're so clearly not. And for someone as far gone as my mother, that's likely the closest they'll ever get to seeing like actual vulnerability. And she's done that to me more than enough times. And I knew when she gave me the mug that there wasn't even a hint of that in her voice. Not really. So my guess is just that she's sensing that the power and imbalance in the house is no longer in her favor. And I've made sure that I've actually been talking to my dad, and I've been saying to him, I don't care what you think she was doing, because he hasn't quite gotten to himself to admit that what she was doing was intentionally trying to starve me out. Because it was at a point where I couldn't cook with my own groceries for no good reason. Like, she wouldn't cook for me. Fine. I'm an adult. You don't have to cook for me. You know? She wouldn't let me eat her food. Fine. The food in the house for the rest of the family, because since I recovered from anorexia, nobody's really been getting many groceries for me. I might get like some dried mango or a little snack from time to time in the grocery shop, but because I was anorexic for so long, uh no, I guess I'm just not really included in the shopping list anymore. Not really, not properly. And even if they're I think it's just a money related thing, honestly. It's just easier on the whole family. And regardless of whether or not there would be enough food for me in the house, I wasn't allowed to eat at it, and it was always framed as there's not enough food in the house for you, so I would go out and I'd buy my own groceries, but then she wouldn't let me cook with it. There was a bunch of reasons that she had for that, but like whether what she was doing was intentional or not, the effect it was having on me was that I was starving, so I was losing weight. And it took me a long, long time to stop gaslighting myself about that, because honestly, um, like, I've distanced so much of my emotions from her. Like, I'm genuinely at a point now where the only thing that I do not have empathy for when it comes to people is them still loving their abusive family members. Like, I can have sympathy for someone who has love for an abusive partner, but it's like something in me switches off whenever people mention family. And I think that's because there's probably such a deep well of pain there within me, and that's why I'm reacting that way to other people. Because the way that you treat others is always a mirror of the way that you actually treat yourself on the inside. So whenever I hear people talk about their family or caring for their family, like, whenever I make a video, fuck me, I can have empathy for the abuse that they've suffered. I can have empathy for the feelings of loneliness that they have in general. Like, if someone comes up to me and says, I'm lonely as fuck, I can't remember the last time someone said hello to me, you know? I feel completely isolated in the world. I'd be like, aw. Then the minute that they're like, I just wish like my mom would be there for me in some way. I'm just like, that's stupid. Like, yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, but that's genuinely the way that I'm like. It's like this instant numbing effect goes completely over me, and I'm like, uh, that 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 sucks, buddy. Sorry. It's like I don't know what to do. And yet this situation has brought something out in me that I thought was dead long ago. Because I've actually finally started to get my life together to some extent. Like, it's not perfect, and I should have gotten the qualification I did from Youth Reach, at least to make all those years I suffered in there mean something, so it just wasn't a complete fucking waste of space. But I'm kind of at the point now where part of the reason I'm actually going for this is because I finally started to get to a place where I'm like, I didn't deserve the way I was treated in school. I didn't deserve the way I was treated at home. I deserve better as a person from the world. And that is basically giving me the strength to consider going back into an education environment. I think that was the problem with Youth Reach. Had maybe I had a few years just working, I likely would have walked straight back into an adult education environment anyways. And the idea of doing a level 4 absolutely makes me want to draw my fucking eyes out, but like, I am at a place now where I've fully decided I want to be a psychologist completely 100%. There's no ifs, ands, and buts. I won't be fucking content working at a Tesco for the rest of my life. And I've gotten enough self-esteem too to be like, if I walk into an adult education center or I walk into college and people are dicks to me there, I at least have a backbone. And I had the kind of mindset, and it's still a victim blaming mindset, it's still a mindset that justifies abuse, where I was like, I don't care whether or not I deserve the way that I'm being treated, I need to find a way to make this stop. But I can't control other people, so I'll find a way to change myself for them. That was where I was up until now. It's taken me this long, and only with the help of others have I gotten here. Only with the help of others. And my mental health, because of the bullying and because of just the way people in general treat me, is bad enough that I didn't get the level 4 I was supposed to. And the people there who ran Youth Reach, one of them, Sharon, who I went into to talk to because I needed her to send a letter of recommendation to Dunblane for me, she didn't understand what the panic attack was, but she still looked me in the eyes and said, like, I tried everything to help you. I really did. But I don't think the mindset that you had, your mental health, that just wasn't there. I saw it in you. And the fact that someone that blatantly emotionally unintelligent still saw the way that I was and was like, fuck me. It really puts everything into perspective, and I really feel like in myself that had I gone to college is not something that you want to mess up. You get bad grades in school. You get bad grades in primary school, you get bad grades in secondary school. There's still a way to fix it. Like, if you get bad grades and are leaving in my country, do a PLC, do some volunteer work, go as a mature student, sell the hell out of yourself, and you might have a chance, you know? Apparently far more of a fucking chance than I ever thought. According to everyone, this is gonna be a fucking breeze. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that, but like, we were so nonchalant. My god. Like, there's still a chance, there's Youth Reach, there's adult education centers, there is a way to get you back into the system, but college is not something that I can just, that's really like the only time in your life where your grades actually really, really matter, There's no second chances when it comes to college. Probably some second chances, but not to the degree that there is if you're not a good student in secondary school or in primary school. And it is so funny because like there's a lot of people who drop out of college, and I personally think that that's just because it's the only time in your life, most people's lives, where they realize they have free will. They go to college and it's like, oh my god, I'm my own person now. Let's just drop out. And oh wow, like, for someone who hates the system as much as I fucking do, I have a lot of respect for college. Because in my case, it would be the thing that I need to do the job that I really want to do. And also, like I'm only really at a place now where I feel like if I went to college, I would actually be able to handle myself while I'm there. I wouldn't have, if I've started to recover from the eating disorder, like, fully. Well, not fully, because it's always a work in progress. You're never fully recovered from something like anorexia. It's always there, always lurking. You always get those thoughts from time to time. God, I'm such a pessimistic goddamn person. How could anyone put up with me? Any fucking ways. But I've started eating. Uh, I started taking sugar in stuff like tea from time to time. I use honey a lot, and I tend to use oat milk. I actually have a thing with dairy. I should really be drinking oat milk. It's just fucking. It's not good for me. That's not an anorexic thing. That's actually just me thing. Honestly. Honestly. Not too great with rice either. But, fuck. Where was I? No, yeah, that was a big thing. Was, sugar and teas. If I don't have an opportunity to put honey in my tea, I'll take it with sugar. Same with coffee. That is a huge step for me. There's these chicken fillet rolls I get from the cafe, a cafe that I go to. And chicken fillet rolls was another thing because my family is pretentious as shit. And chicken fillet rolls was something that a lot of people ate, so I suppose in my subconscious, I saw it kind of like as a commoner food. I'd love to put it any other way, but yeah, that is as narcissistic as I was at some point, and as narcissistic as the mindset that I was raised with was. Which is funny because we're in absolutely no way rich. Well off, actually, well off. Not financially stable, but well off. My dad has land passed down to him from his family, and we do own this house, so much better off than a lot of people. And much worse off in other ways, but you know. Yeah. So that's been a big thing for me. Yeah. Yeah. Margarine. I have to take it with the chicken fillet roll because they don't have actual butter there. And past me wouldn't have just eaten the whole chicken roll if it had margarine in it. It's disgusting, but in the chicken fillet roll is nice. So I can fucking eat that now, and that was when I. I'm probably getting a lot better, and my weight has gone up so much, and I've had much more energy. That's amazing. Yeah. And also amazing. I don't know how it's possible all those years and just so and I trailed off from the point I was attempting to make. I didn't even get to the point that I was trying to make with mom. That's what this whole situation comes from. I remember. Sorry. And the point I was trying to make with mom was that terrified, desperate, and similar to the way I felt with my ex. A terrified, desperate energy that didn't go away when she hugged me. Anyways, Dad brought me out to get food, and while I was in the car with him, I explained that regardless of what he thought she was doing, the effect it was having on me was that I was starving. And I can't help myself but feel like this is very calculated on her end, and like she's been seeing me make these leaps and bounds, she's been seeing me get better, get serious about my life. She's been seeing me sleep better, eat better, be confident, seeing me change from the husk of the human being that I was for so long. And I can't help but feel like this is so cleverly timed. I can't help but feel that. I think she's nearly angry at me that I'm getting better, and I think she knows that once I'm able to leave, I'm never going to talk to her again. I also made friends. Would you believe it? I made some friends. I made friends with a person who I kind of have a crush on, but they have BPD. And I really enjoy their company, and I really want to be a friend to them first. I want to be a good friend more than anything. And if anything happened between us, I would still want to just be a good friend first, And I don't know, by the way that they're talking, by the way that they describe their own symptoms, I don't entirely know if a relationship is necessarily the best idea between the two of us. I don't think a situationship would work either, because they definitely do not seem like the kind of person who can fuck without feelings. I mean, there'll still be feelings, because I honestly, he is such a beautiful person. He's such a beautiful person, and I would be content spending the rest of my life just basking in his company. There'd always be a little bit of an, can we get closer? There'd always be a little bit of that. But he's such a beautiful soul. I could describe him on and on and on and on and on. And I'm thinking that this poor, suffering person, this poor, suffering, beautiful, funny, creative soul, if they ever hit on me, I think I just need to bring him home. Put him to bed. Get him a glass of water. And then I'm struggling to believe that his entire friend group likes me, even though it's been said to me multiple times by the entire friend group, you're really cool. You just made our night better. So it's just interesting things. And last time we talked, interestingly enough, after a breakup, and I got to witness a breakup. It was weird. I don't know if I ever want to witness a breakup ever again. It wasn't even a nasty breakup. It was quite so. Yeah. Anyways, last time we talked, I was not a dick. dark late at night. We just walked out of the pub that he had his breakup in. We walked around a little bit longer, and he was like, "Hey, you wanna? We could go the long way if you wanted, just to keep talking, stand by the bus stop for a little bit."